Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of The Man Shreks. Commentary on Christian life and culture or something.
Yeah, that's about right. Good job. We're the Man Shreks.
Oh, man. Two big things. Number one, this podcast is coming to you in the midst of packing boxes. There's boxes everywhere.
This entire room is a sea of boxes.
When this episode comes out, we will be successfully moved to our new home, and so we kept the podcasting equipment out just long enough to bring you this fantastic episode. The other update is that I just want to apologize for last week's episode. The audio quality, it was driving me crazy. I was transitioning computers, and so I lost the audio file. And so we're like missing 3 minutes of that episode, the final couple minutes. The mom joke of the week. There was no mom joke of the week last week. Oh, man.
How dare you.
It's devastating. And so I'm very upset. But this week will be properly edited and have music and all the normal good stuff. We're back to our full strength now.
Full strength.
Oh, man. Are you ready to approach the news desk?
I am.
Go ahead.
Okay. My first story is kind of short, but super weird. So in New York City, in the woods, there was a hand found by a dog walker. Ugh. And it was discovered to belong to a woman who was buried in a nearby cemetery.
Oh my gosh. So like a human hand, like the dog found it.
So a man was walking his dog in a wooded area of Staten Island.
Ew.
And so this guy was walking his dog started sniffing around, and he found what appeared to be a human hand.
Wow.
So the police were called, and they had to deploy cadaver dogs to search the forest.
What is a cadaver dog?
So dogs that'll sniff out human remains. They didn't know if it was maybe like a foul play situation, like maybe something happened, someone's body was in the woods, so they sent out the dogs hoping to find what the source was. But they were actually able to, using a handprint analysis of this hand that the dog found in the woods. It was actually a hand belonging to a woman who died in 2011 at the age of 63 and was buried at Staten Island's Resurrection Cemetery. Well. So I guess what happened is somehow they believe that the woman's body was separated from the hand when the graveside next to hers was excavated for burial on the 27th.
What? No, I can't. I have so many thoughts real quick. First, I'm a pastor, right? Like, I've seen burials done. They put the person in the box, and then the box inside the metal box, and then the metal box inside the ground. Like,
so this woman died 12 years ago, right?
Yeah,
but they are, and it even says they're not sure how the hand arrived in the woods, which is about a mile from where the cemetery is.
Wow. And they excavated nearby, and somehow they like broke open a casket. But those things are like metal. I'm just baffled at how they could
there's a lot of things in that story. But I can't imagine like walking my dog and being like, oh, sniffing at something over there, and then going, what is that? A hand? The fact that the hand... 12 years, the hand was not decomposed. They could still fingerprint scan it.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
I know that, I don't know what they do, but they pump us full of all kinds of...
they preserve the body with all sorts of stuff.
So they won't decompose.
Oh my gosh, but it was crazy. Nasty. I read that and I was like, that's disgusting.
Okay, but we do need to circle back to cadaver dogs. So I'm imagining when the doggies go to the little puppy training school, there's obedience training, and then they have to like pick a major. And do they want to be a drug dog or a cadaver dog?
We're so proud of him. He chose to become a cadaver dog, the ultimate school. He's going to be the best.
Timmy's going
a full 4 years
to be a drug dog, and this one's going to be
it wasn't dog. Our first choice school, but
an attack dog, and like
I feel like this is a weird episode of Paw Patrol.
Yes, this is the worst episode of Paw Patrol in the world.
But yes, cadaver dogs are a thing, apparently.
That is fascinating.
Isn't that weird?
To me. I guess it does make sense. It's probably a whole different set of training to teach them, like attack dogs or like drug sniffing dogs, or, each little, each major for the dog. It totally is like a different type of training.
For sure.
All right. If you get busted driving drunk in Latvia, they will seize your car and send it to the Ukraine.
What?
Yeah, this story is amazing. So apparently, Latvia, according to the BBC News, Latvia has the highest drunk driving rate in all of Europe, right? And so, in an effort to crack down on the drunk driving that's happening in Latvia, they would repossess your car if you get caught. If you're caught driving with a blood alcohol level over the legal limit of 0.05%, now that's a lower legal limit than ours. The Latvian government actually passed a law to seize and sell your car if you are blowing a blood alcohol level above 3 times the legal limit. Seized cars were filling up public warehouses. They passed this law, and so they're starting to seize everybody's cars.
Gosh.
So there were so many drunk Latvians that were caught that the government couldn't keep up with auctioning off their vehicles. So to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, they started sending seized cars to the Ukraine to help them in the war effort against Russia.
Okay. So there you have it, folks.
I don't know how to say this guy's names. I think it's Renus Poznak. He told Reuters, no one expected that people are drunk driving so many vehicles. They can't sell them as fast as people are drinking, so that's why I came up with the idea, send them to the Ukraine. Twitter Convoy, that's what it's called. Twitter Convoy is already dispatched about 1,200 vehicles after announcing a plea for donations on Twitter days after the Russian invasion. It raised 2 million euros for vehicle purchases, renovations, and logistics. So they said, please, we need these cars. We need more vehicles to deal with the Russian invasion. Please send us cars. And the Latvian government was like, I got some extra cars.
We got some. We can hook you up.
However, the happy ending to this bizarre... First off, I think that's hilarious. That is the perfect... if you're gonna be irresponsible, we're taking your car away and we're gonna send it to the Ukraine.
You better behave. Sending your car to Ukraine.
But the happy ending is that Latvians seem to be buckling up and staying soberer. 4 police officers closed a Riga road on Wednesday, and they checked every single driver for a half an hour for alcohol, and none had any alcohol in their system. None were found to be drunk. So
that's good.
We'll do any... the guy says, Poznak says, we are ready to do practically anything to support the Ukrainians, including selling people's cars. Not even selling, giving them away. We'll just give them to you.
You can have it.
I just thought that story was amazing. I was like, Latvian drunk drivers.
So random. And
the war in Ukraine.
Way to go. Like, you hope people don't drink and drive, but at the same time, like, what a valiant reason to do.
I love that as a punishment, right? Like, I know that it's a very serious thing to drink and drive.
Yeah.
And I think people should be punished. And to have your car taken away and then sent to the Ukraine, next level. Now, I assume Latvia is much closer to the Ukraine. It would be much easier for them to send it. Like, that's impractical for us, I would imagine, in America. But
probably.
Yeah. Maybe we could send them to Canada or something.
Can't even eat your cars.
So don't drink and drive.
Wow, that's so random.
So my next story is
Kansas boy finds a rare pink grasshopper while hunting for bugs in his family's backyard.
Pink, wait, so it's a real grasshopper that exists in nature? It wasn't like...
So this boy in Kansas was searching for insects in his family's yard. He found a rare pink grasshopper. So pink grasshoppers they actually exist. They have a rosy hue due to erythrism, which is a genetic mutation resulting in the overproduction of red pigment.
What?
According to the American Museum.
So it's an actual grasshopper that's
There's
actually
a picture,
pink?
yeah. It says that erythrism can result in the reddish appearance of hair, skin, fur, feathers, and eggshells in mammals, avian animals, and other wild creatures. This pink grasshopper has been named Pinky and was reportedly kept in a jar with access to leaves, food, and water. They have a hard time surviving long in the wild because their vivid coloring makes hiding from predators more challenging.
Yeah, he's going to get caught. Pink.
Grasshoppers typically have a color range that ranges from green to olive to brown, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica. And it's the weirdest thing. So last year, an Ohio man found a pink grasshopper while working in Texas as an oil and pipeline environmental inspector. The Texas grasshopper was also named Pinky.
So we're not very creative in our
Not very creative at all. But no, that's like a legitimate thing. This is a picture from the American Museum of Natural History. It's a purplish pink grasshopper.
Oh my gosh, that's vivid.
It's vibrant.
It's like a pink highlighter.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Wow.
And it's a genetic mutation where they produce too much red pigment, and that's the way they look.
So this boy found it, and he was like, I found a cool grasshopper.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you would totally notice that, right? That would be so exciting. Mm-hmm. And if I was looking at it, I'd be like, oh no, I got in some paint or something.
Yeah,
like,
I would never expect to see a grasshopper that looked like that out in nature. But
you name it.
If our boys found something like that, they'd be crazy. They would love that.
Yes, they would be so excited. Question.
Yes.
Would you enjoy going to a reptile cafe?
What type of reptiles will there be? Probably not.
Snakes, lizards, and deserts meet in Malaysia's first reptile cafe.
No, thank you.
Subiang Jaya in Malaysia. There's a Malaysian reptile enthusiast. His name is Yap Ming Yang. Hopes visitors to his pet-friendly cafe will learn to appreciate snakes and lizards as much as they do their furrier creatures such as dogs and cats. So it's a cafe where they got like snakes all over the place, and you can play with them while you're waiting for your coffee.
That's weird. I mean, I know like cat cafes exist, and there's like...
Really?
Yep, they're a thing. There are places in different parts of Asia where you can go to a cat cafe.
Cat cafe.
Yep, they just have kittens and cats roaming around, and same thing.
Yeah, at the mall, there's that like puppy place where there's like
that's
puppies.
actually like a puppy store. Like they sell dogs there. But I don't think I would go to a cafe where there were lizards and reptiles. Like, I don't mind lizards and like iguanas and stuff like that, but like snakes, not so much. And I definitely wouldn't want to see any creatures that like no, I don't want to hold them. No, thank you.
Bearded dragons, leopard geckos, and corn snakes are among the species resting in glass tanks stacked around Yap's Cafe on the outskirts of Malaysia's capital, Kuala Lumpur. Species, he says, that are commonly bred in the country. Customers, including children, can hold and pet the scaly animals while ordering their drinks and food.
Sounds fun. But
honestly, the whole idea of petting zoo / food doesn't work for me.
It seems to be, I don't think that mixes
like of any
well.
even really cute animals. It's like, no, I don't want to touch animals.
Oh yeah, come pet these baby goats and then eat a sandwich afterwards.
No, I don't think I will.
Listen to this quote. He says, "People only care about the furry animals, cats, dogs, but people always leave out reptiles and snakes," says Yap, who has a background in environmental science and is part of a community of Malaysians with an interest in herpetology. Herpetology? Yeah. The study of reptiles. So I hope showing the public how interesting they are, we can cause them to have a better outlook on reptiles and less loved animals. Makes me feel guilty.
It's super cute that he's like out there trying to garner respect for reptiles, but
there's a reason we don't like reptiles. They're just not the same.
There's like pictures of kids playing with them at the table while there's like a mom at the next table with her coffee. I mean,
I've held a snake before.
Oh, it is fun.
It's, but I don't want to hold a snake while I'm ordering coffee. I just want to drink my coffee. I don't want to hold a snake too.
A reptile cafe. Crazy new idea.
I don't think that would be something I would...
Capitalism comes up with the best.
That's so cool.
I just thought it was so weird. I don't know. I might actually like it, especially if it's like they're in the tanks and you can take them out if you want, but you don't have to hold them.
Yeah.
Like if they were like slithering loose, then definitely not. Because if you go to a cafe for coffee or you're working on your laptop, you definitely want to be able to.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Not be. And I do think, for some reason, snakes and spiders go together in my head. And so I think just reptiles, no spiders. Like, I'm imagining tarantulas, but there aren't any. It's just reptiles.
That'd be another level. No, thank you.
So, bearded dragons and geckos and snakes hanging out in the Reptile Cafe in Malaysia. When we go visit Malaysia someday, we will go to the Reptile Cafe.
All right.
Sounds like fun.
Are you ready for Sponsor of Your Life?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you got?
So, as we've mentioned, a lot of home projects lately.
Yes.
Sponsor my life, mostly because it's been holding a primary part of our paycheck is Home Depot.
Woo.
Home Depot coming in clutch with all the paint and a lot of things that we've been using for our home lately. So
they do. Yep, we've been there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And I mean, they've been very helpful. Like I've had lots of questions about things, and you know, it's been a good couple weeks getting stuff fixed up at the house. So yeah,
That's
Home
fantastic.
Depot. Thank you.
All right, well, mine comes with a bit of a story because this past week we were driving up north to the house to do some of that painting and renovating and such, and we hit a patch of ice and went and smacked the car into the concrete median.
So that was okay. The car was not.
Yes, that was not great. It was a terrifying thing. We were all in the car, including all the children, but everybody was safe. The airbags didn't even deploy, so that was just such a relief. But I want to give a shout out to the towing company. They were amazing. It's Reinhardt and Bender out in the Frankenmuth area. They also own Gray's Towing in Birch Run. The tow truck guy did such a great job. We had 4 babies, and I was like, what are we going to do? We have to deal with like car seats and where are we going to stay while we wait for a rental car and all this stuff. And he was so kind, and he took care of us, got us off the road, got us out of danger. And it was actually like the owner who came out. He's like, we're short-staffed today. That's why I'm driving. And it was like, well, I'm really glad you're here. And they did an amazing job. Super professional. Very kind. And massive shout out to Reinhardt and Bender and Gray's Towing for helping us out. Yeah. And we had a really cool police officer who first on the scene, and he was looking out, and he was a helpful guy.
I got in an accident. It was a really cool police officer.
No, it was good. He did a great job, and I felt safer. I was very glad because we were stuck. Like
we weren't going anywhere. And well, now we don't have a vehicle, so you know, it was one of those things where it was like, what are we gonna do? And yeah, it worked out.
He was there, and I do like when you're stuck in the middle of the road. You just feel better when there's a cop car there with the lights going. It's like, okay, so no one's going to hit us, you know, because we're sitting there with our flashers on. But he was like, you know, with the lights and everything. And it was like, all right, people noticed. They moved over. They, you know, we were safer because the cop car was there.
Yep, truly.
Yeah. So anyways, it was a bit of excitement, and I'm very grateful. And it was definitely sponsoring my life today. You ready for our final segment?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time for another episode of The Internet Knows Everything. This is an episode or a segment of the show where we talk about a various article about how the internet seems to know everything. And so this article is about home renovations because it's just been on our hearts and minds a lot lately. Can't imagine why.
Right.
However, I have an article and you have an article. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Do you want to just riff back and forth?
Or? Sure. So mine's called 10 True Tales of Home Renovation Nightmares.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and mine is just 5, what's it called? 5 nightmare home renovation stories and how they finally got fixed.
So I'll do 2 for every one of yours because mine are short, but they're twice as many.
All right. So this one is about running out of flooring. So this man shares about his first project that didn't quite go as planned. So towards the end of the renovation project, this man got a call from his contractor who was finishing up the flooring that they had purchased, but there wasn't quite enough to finish the job. They were 95% finished with the job. So the flooring was out of stock, no longer in production.
Yikes.
So we found out that the contractor had bought the flooring from a wholesaler who had some leftovers from a really big name brand store. So they spent hours and hours trying to find where the heck they were going to find more of this flooring, only to find out that the store was selling it, this big brand store was selling it under a different name in Canada.
Oh.
So they had the flooring, it was just being sold under a different brand, a different name in Canada. However, this man lived in South Florida.
Oh, jeez.
He wasn't able to ship or deliver it
from Canada
to his address for some reason. The store wouldn't do it.
Ridiculous.
So they called a mailbox and shipping store near their location and were trying to arrange for them to receive the delivery and have it mailed from Canada to this new location. However, it was much more expensive than they expected because $130 worth of flooring cost about $500 in shipping.
Oh my God. That's insane.
For a project that was 95% done.
Oh, walk away.
So it says, on top of that, the contractor had previously scheduled vacation, which he took during this time, and then proceeded to extend the trip another week instead of finishing the renovation.
Wow.
Needless to say, the man decided to go separate ways and hired a new contractor to finish the project successfully.
I'm waiting for a guy
So wow, that's like, I was just thinking about how we had our flooring done, and they were like, we might not make, but I mean, they had more their store.
They were on top of it.
Like they were like, we'll go get another box, but I think it might be. They ended up finishing with the stuff that they had on hand without having to need that other box, but definitely weren't ordering something from
Canada,
Lord knows where,
from Florida. Wow. All right, so mine are they're a little shorter stories, but they're like. This one says, this is from a lady named Jennifer. I was a city girl who had moved to the country. When the crew digging the foundation for our addition told me they hit our septic tank, I had to have them explain to me what it was. Yuck.
Ew.
That is a bummer.
That's no good.
They hit the septic tank digging a foundation.
Ugh, that's gross.
Yikes. This one's so good. From Susan. It says, we asked the contractor to redo our popcorn ceiling with a lightly textured finish. They didn't like the popcorn ceiling,
course,
right?
yeah.
No, you don't like the popcorn ceiling either, right? Well, the contractor hired a subcontractor, and there was a communication mix-up. So he applied that texture to every wall, ceiling, and surface in the kitchen.
What? You can popcorn the walls?
Can you imagine?
Oh my
hey, we
gosh.
want to get rid of this. You mean you want to put it everywhere?
Why wouldn't you like double and triple check if you were someone hired by the person hired?
It all had to be scraped down, sanded, and smoothed out. It set the project back weeks.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I would just be so... I don't even know what I would do to like come in to see, I wonder how the project's going. I wonder if it's looking okay. You go out and see. Not only have they not done what you asked, they have actually done the opposite everywhere.
Made it so much worse. It's like, why would you touch that? I asked you to fix the ceiling.
Gosh.
Why did you do the walls and the surfaces?
Oh my gosh.
So good.
All right, so this one, it says, so there was a couple, and they were... from Chicago. They found their dream home. Ended up being ended up finding an apartment. So they were looking for an apartment. They wanted to buy an apartment, but it was during the middle of quarantine. So after a lengthy place of trying to find a place that felt right, they got to this apartment, and it was actually in Lincoln Park. They loved it, so they started moving in. They putting boxes away one day, and they start hearing some weird sounds. So the woman said that she was working from home at the time and thought she was going crazy because she kept hearing all these weird noises in the walls.
You gotta love weird noises in the walls.
She said one day, me and my fiance decided to sit in silence in the apartment and listen to see if we would hear the sounds. And finally on a Saturday, he heard it. 2 weeks go by, and they decide to call an exterminator to take a look.
Yep,
what's in the walls. Discover an entire mouse colony living in the pipes behind the bathroom and in the walls.
It's like we don't talk about Bruno.
It said that, or says that there had to have been over 50 mice living in those walls.
Oh, that's gross.
She says, I'd never thought I'd be the kind of person to freak out at a mouse, but seeing how many there were and watching them all scatter when the exterminator moved some tile flooring was actually terrifying.
Wow.
They are now in the process of selling the apartment.
I'm shocked.
That's disgusting.
Did I ever tell you that story of the one time my mom accidentally walled in our cat into the drywall?
Yes, you've told me the story before.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
I can't imagine. I can totally see a cat doing that though.
They were working on the plumbing in the bathtub, and the guy was there, and the cat had gotten in between like the sides of the tub, and the guy just didn't realize the cat was in there, and he closed it back up. And my mom because you're going to the bathroom and it's like I hear a cat meowing and it's like really close, and then we realized it's in the tub, like in the walls of the tub.
Oh my gosh.
And so my mom got a kitchen knife and hacked a hole in the drywall so that we could get the cat out because she was trying to save it, and she totally did. That was our cat way back in high school, but it was just it was nuts. It was just oh my gosh, there's a cat in the wall and there's no way to get it off because of the plumbing or whatever. Something
cat
else.
would have helped this mice situation pretty good.
Yeah. All right, bathroom bust. My husband was getting out of the military, and my daughter and I moved into our new home about a month before he did. We got a great deal, but it needed major remodeling. My dad and I started tearing out the bathroom closet and soon discovered major termite damage.
Oh, yeah.
We ended up having to gut the entire bathroom because it was rotten. We now have a very beautiful new bathroom.
Oh, yikes.
Can't imagine.
That's a huge project.
All right, cabinet catastrophe submitted by Kathy. The kitchen company set us the wrong sized cabinets twice.
What?
Also, they had the wrong kitchen measurements. I ended up with the sink the size of an RV.
What?
In the meantime, I assume she means a sink the size of an RV's sink.
Oh,
Right?
okay. Not the size of an RV, but the size of the
That is
sink
how it
in an
reads,
RV.
but I think what she meant is the teeny tiny one.
So it's like a miniature sink.
So it says, in the meantime, I've been cooking meals on a turkey roaster and washing dishes in the bathtub.
Ooh.
That's a bummer.
That sounds awful.
Yes, that is not what you want to be doing.
Wow.
They sent her the wrong cabinets twice.
And then you don't think about the long wait for that. Like, you wait and you wait and you wait. It's like, oh, it's going to come. And then all of a sudden it's like, this is incorrect.
Oh, boy.
And that's not like a small thing.
No.
That's a major thing.
Yes.
All right, so this says toilet clogs are never fun, but for Stephanie Smith and her London-based plumbing company, this job was a little harder than most. They received a call from a newly married couple requesting for help. They were trying to do a home DIY project. People don't realize that you shouldn't always dump certain things down their drain pipes.
Oh no.
You have to be careful, especially when you're renovating, making sure no materials make it down the drains. Not expecting what sort of materials will harden with water and other flowing stuff. They found that the couple had poured excess cement down their toilet. No.
Oh my gosh. They took cement?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's like the worst thing I've ever heard.
Cement down the toilet during a home renovation project.
Honey, just clean out the bucket and dump it down the
Why would you dump cement? Yeah, with some high-end equipment, they were able to remove the blockage. But please do not put cement down your toilet.
Oh, man. I mean, pipes getting blocked is a problem all the time.
Why?
But cement.
Oh, my God.
It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how to get rid of this. I'll just dump it down the toilet.
I saw this very random... It reminds me of this. I saw this a while back. It was a random, I think it was a reel or something from some small business owner on Instagram. And they were like, well, I own a company and I make, clay, it was like clay products or jewelry or something, but in their home, they do it in their home.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how they just had to have some major plumbing work done in their home. And it seemed as though they were rinsing off or rinsing excess down the drains. And it was like it over time it builds up and it started to block. And you know how clay is waxy, it's filmy. It doesn't rinse away. It stays and it builds up. It's exactly what had happened. It had started to block their pipes and they couldn't figure out what was going on in their house. And it's like, you don't rinse away residue of certain things. You throw that away. I know it seems like a good idea, but it's not.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
All right, winter woes. When my son was born 6 weeks early in January, our furnace blew up and then our water pipes froze.
Oh my gosh.
Needless to say, we have a new house now.
Oh my gosh.
Submitted by Mary. And animal trap. Oh. My parents hired a contractor to repair their roof that was badly damaged by a snowstorm. The crew fixed the roof but sealed in a raccoon.
Ooh.
The poor animal died and smelled terrible. When my parents confronted the contractor about the problem, the company replied that animal removal is not their job.
That's awful. That's disgusting. It's your fault. It's your fault. You did this to me.
Oh, I mean, that's so gross. And what do you do? Especially if it's a roof you don't have access to, right? Up in the ceiling, maybe it doesn't have access, and it's how do you even get up there? Oh, gross.
I don't even want to know.
The smell just coming down just sounds terrible. Yikes.
All right, so this next one says, when it comes to home renovations, it's best not to cut corners. A small family in Central Texas didn't take long to discover ceiling paint job in their home was far from quality. So they moved in and the ceiling was painted an unfortunate dark navy. They hadn't requested this when they had their contractors come in to do some work, but there was a renovation project that they were working on with the contractors and they just wanted the process to be finished. And so they decided, just keep it navy. We'll finish it off. Finish the project. It says a couple weeks later, they noticed that
there were wet water droplets on the ceiling from moisture. And at first we chalked it up to Texas humidity, but after a couple days it started to feel off. So they got on a ladder and went up to the ceiling to figure out what it was. The paint scratched off piece by piece, and they then discovered that what the painters had gone over was light blue paint with spots of black mold everywhere. So they just painted over the mold with navy paint because it covered it up better.
Oh, that's
so
gross.
The contractors didn't feel like doing the extra work of whatever replacement was.
That's gross.
They
use
just
a dark
painted
color.
it over it.
Oh man,
Isn't that disgusting?
That is.
It says after a bit of back and forth, the original contractor and a new crew came, stripped the ceiling, paint, and drywall, dried out the space, repaired the ceiling, and repainted the whole thing. It took many weeks, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
have to.
gosh, that's disgusting.
That is so nasty. Ugh.
Like, you're like, why is it still wet here? What is all this stuff?
Oh.
Mold. Oh, mold.
Ugh.
We were redoing our dining room in time for my dad's 60th surprise birthday party. One night, there were a few houseflies on the ceiling lamp. My husband tried batting at them with a rolled-up newspaper, but instead of knocking down the flies, he knocked off the light fixture.
Oh no.
Oh, man. We ended up scrambling to install a new lamp, figure out the wiring, and patch the ceiling, all while finalizing for the party.
Oh, fun.
I think that's classic comedy fodder. Do you remember that? What was that movie with Nathan Lane and the mouse?
Mousetrap.
Mousetrap?
Mouse Hunt?
Mouse Hunt. I think
Mouse
you're
Hunt.
right. I think you're right. Mousetrap is the game. Sorry.
Where it just like destroys the house trying to kill the one mouse.
Yep.
Hilarious. All right, Cookie Monster. We moved the pantry during our kitchen renovation. The process was relatively smooth for us, but not for our 2-year-old who asked, "Where did that man put the door to the cookies?"
Come on, Mom.
This is the real upset. I've noticed that my house is different, and there was a door that led me to cookies, and now the door.
And now it is gone.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, boy. All right, my last story, similar to your raccoon story.
Gross.
Our wall was hiding a gross secret. This mom says in her home renovation project, they had a few contractors come back and forth to work on renovating half of our home. One of the projects involved replacing drywall in our bedroom. The project looked so good after it was finished, but after a few weeks we started to smell terrible odor in our room.
Oh, no.
And we could not identify the source. It got so bad that my husband and I had to sleep in the living room for a few days while we tried to figure out what it was.
Wow.
Upon inspection of the room, I noticed there was a soft, wet spot on part of the drywall that the contractors had put in. We called the contractor to let him know, and he sent some guys to take a look at it. They ended up removing part of the wall, and then what they found was absolutely horrifying. One of the guys had left half a sandwich on the horizontal drywall stud and then put drywall over it by accident.
Oh, no.
The sandwich had fallen on the floor and turned into a thick puddle of mold and maggots.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Luckily, I wasn't there when it was discovered. My husband was the only one who saw it. I'm not sure if I would have been able to sleep in my room anymore after seeing the sandwich.
Oh.
The contractors fixed it, paid for extermination services,
good
put
for
a
them.
new drywall up for free, but the smell still lingers in my mind.
Gosh.
That's disgusting.
That is
disgusting.
bad. Oh, wow.
Ugh.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, my last 2 stories. Insulation drama. We were removing 1970s wood paneling. We have some of that in
We
our new
do.
house. Wood paneling that has been layered on top of old lath and plaster wall in the stairway. The first few panels came off okay, but after prying one stubborn piece down, we accidentally ripped a softball-sized hole in the wall.
Oh, no.
Next thing we knew, all of the blown-in insulation was pouring out. Oh no.
Oh,
We learned later that there
no.
was no stop between the first and second floors, so the insulation for the second floor was pouring out. Like, you know, that foam stuff was pouring out of a hole in the wall.
Oh, no.
Yikes. All right, and finally, kitchen rescue. We wanted to completely gut the kitchen, but they hired the crew we hired could only work in the evenings. They worked for 2 weeks, and then one day they just didn't show up. We were left with a complete mess and had to hire a brand new crew to finish the job. We had paid as we went, but the next time we're going to get an agreement in writing. Lesson learned.
Oh my gosh.
And that's from Deborah. I can't even imagine. You know, you always want to go with a reputable company. We've been very blessed to work with some really great people. I mean, we haven't done that much. We've done just a little bit of stuff in the house because we can't really afford a ton of stuff. But they've been amazing. The people we've had.
Yeah,
they've been
very, very good.
So that's just house renovation horror stories. The internet knows everything, and it told me basically don't touch your house, don't renovate.
Oh my gosh. But if you have great stories that are funny, we would love to hear them.
And we will post them.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's been fun. We own this house. It's ours. We're taking care of it. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff that needs to be done.
Much.
And everything costs money. But so yeah, don't board up a sandwich in your drywall.
Oh.
That's so nasty. Or trap a raccoon in your ceiling.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
Oh, so many of them were really unfortunate stories. I wish one of the stories was we were renovating the house and we found money in the walls.
I know, right?
Nope, that doesn't happen. All right, I am all set. Are you all set?
I am.
Let's get out of here. There you go, done.
See ya.
If you appreciate this fun, goofy podcast, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify or leave us a review on Apple or wherever you get your podcast, Google or I don't know, whatever all the other ones are. But apparently it affects the algorithm, helps more people find this fun comedy Christian content.
Thanks so much to Music Town for the use of our theme song.
You ready to send us out with the mom joke of the week?
I am.
Let's hear it.
Why shouldn't you wear glasses when you play football?
I don't know.
Because it's a contact sport.
Oh, there it is. Oh, bye, everybody.
Take care, everyone.